The Welsh Mountain Zoo in Colwyn Bay is one of the finest in Wales, opened almost 50 years ago in 1963 by Robert Jackson, a wildlife enthusiast and naturalist. The zoo covers a whopping 37 acres, that's the same as 592 tennis courts.
My name is Suzanne Coleman.
What is your role at the zoo?
I'm the education officer here.
And what does that entail?
It involves mainly dealing with the school groups and university groups and college groups that come into the zoo that request formal education sessions. It depends really on what they ask for. We try to accommodate whatever they want. With the schools, it's really linking into the national curriculum a lot of the times. With colleges, it's linking into their assignment work. And the universities come in mainly to get information for the research projects.
In a year, how many pupils come to the zoo?
Over a year, probably in the region of about 10,000 come through here to have formal education sessions. But in the zoo itself, we probably get about 250,000 visitors, and we do aim to give them education when they're here. Not formal education, but they do get informally educated when they go to the shows or they see the signs around the zoo. So we do hopefully make sure they go away learning something more about the animals than they knew before they came.
How long have you worked at the zoo?
I started working here when I was 13, but I haven't always worked here. I was a keeper from when I was 18, and then I lived abroad. Then I came back and started as the education officer in 1999, so I've been here 12 years this year.
How has the zoo evolved since you've been here?
It's changed a lot actually. In the early days we had a lot more animals, and some of them were really quite exciting. We had elephants in those days, and it's always the kind of thing that people want to see when they come to a zoo. But as the standards of welfare have increased in zoos, the zoos have moved away from keeping animals that they can't keep with the right kind of conditions. And the number of animals we've got now are less than we had then, but they are kept in much more naturalistic surroundings.
Have you always wanted to work in the zoo?
Well, I've always been interested in animals, and I count myself very privileged to have come from Colwyn Bay and have had a zoo on the doorstep as I was growing up.
What's your favourite show here at the zoo?
Probably, I think the bird show. I think the range of birds that they fly here is great, and particularly on a nice day, the presenters and trainers actually fly a couple of the macaws, and they're really spectacular to see being flown free in the Welsh countryside.
Compared to other zoos in the world, how would you rate this one?
Well, zoos work very closely together with each other. The Welsh Mountain Zoo is a member of BIAZA, the British and Irish Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and we link in with a lot of other zoos and work together with them. So although we've got one of the biggest zoos in the country down the road, Chester Zoo, we don't count them as competition. We count them as in cooperation with them, with the same type of work. A lot of people say they prefer coming here because of the surroundings. They enjoy the gardens, they enjoy the views and the naturalistic surroundings that the animals are kept in.
If you had one wish for the zoo, what would it be?
I think I'd like to see us have wolves again in the zoo. We used to have wolves in the 1960s, and I think it would be fantastic to have a group of wolves in the zoo again in the woodland area. So yeah, wolves.
And last but not least, what's your favourite animal at the zoo?
I would have found that difficult to answer once upon a time, but I think I can say that I do like lemurs, and hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, well maybe, yeah, probably a few weeks' time now, if the building's still on schedule, we will be actually getting lemurs here for the first time. So that will be one of my wishes come true.
We also spoke to Tom Lawrence, the keeper who takes care of all the zoo's big cats. What is your role at the zoo?
I'm the assistant head keeper, and I look after the big cats and the small mammals. So 2 tigers, we've got the snow leopards, we've got these guys, the troublesome meerkats, we've got the otters, got the pandas on my section, and then I've also got polecats and a couple of margays as well, so quite a bit.
How long have you worked at the zoo, and how has it changed in that time?
I've been here 11 years now, and this enclosure is a new enclosure. It was built in 2009. We're going through a new build of the lemur enclosure, which will hopefully be ready at the end of next month. We've had the new sea lion enclosure built. So since the zoo's first opened and since I started, we've had probably about a dozen or so new enclosures, which have been really good, because it means that we get new animals and we also get to work with different species of animals as well.
What is your favourite show at the zoo?
It's probably the bird shows. I don't know whether you've seen it, but it's where they fly the hawks. So there's a couple of Harris hawks they fly. We've got some barn owls that they fly. There's a falcon which they fly to a lure, which is quite good once that gets going.
What is your favourite animal?
I like my snow leopards, just because there's a bond sort of there, because we got them when they were 18 months old. So you get to work closely with them. Plus they did have some cubs which unfortunately passed away, but you could get really close to the cubs as well, and sort of, not play with them, but you could be in the same space as them. So the snow leopards definitely.
Recently, Conway Council applied for a £5 million grant to form their own Eden project at the zoo. The Eden project will be a futuristic building made up of dragon skin walls. Inside of the building will be touchscreen computers to allow the public to have an amazing educational visit to the zoo. The Welsh Mountain Zoo is home to all types of animals, ranging from the snow leopard to the Sumatran tigers to penguins, chimpanzees and Californian sea lions. Educational areas such as the Jungle Adventureland, Tarzan Trial Adventure Playground and the Children's Farm. There is also the chance to visit the Media Centre for a virtual tour of the zoo and play some great educational games. The Welsh Mountain Zoo is open 364 days a year. If you would like to visit a school, a college or a family, contact the zoo on 01492 532 938 or email info@welshmountainzoo.org. See you at the zoo!